You know, we use thousands of words every single day, but have you ever stopped to think about how few you might actually need? Today, we're going to dive into this fascinating project that tried to boil the entire English language down to its absolute core. And in doing that, it showed us the surprising power packed inside just a single simple word. So let me just start with a question for you. Do you think you could have a real, meaningful conversation or write a letter or maybe even explain a pretty complex idea using a vocabulary of only 850 words? It sounds impossible, right? But believe it or not, someone actually tried to make this a reality. And this wasn't just some random thought experiment. Nope. This was a real, really ambitious project from way back in the 1930s. The whole idea was to create a kind of universal language that could totally change how the world communicates. They called it Basic English, or BE 850 for short. The goal was to build a simplified but totally functional version of English with a core list of just 850 essential words. The hope was that this could become a powerful tool for international communication, for business, and for learning all over the globe. I mean, just think about that number for a second. 850. 850 words to cover everything. Science, politics, day-to-day life, the whole shebang. So for a word to make it onto this super exclusive list, it couldn't just have one job. Oh no, it had to be a total powerhouse, a kind of linguistic multi-tool. So how on earth did they choose these words? To really get the logic behind it, let's just zoom in and look at one pretty surprising word that actually made the cut. Wing. Why this word out of all the possibilities in the entire language? Yeah, wing. I know, at first glance, it seems like a kind of odd choice. It doesn't exactly feel as essential as words like water or go or I, does it? So what's its secret? Why was this word considered so indispensable? Well, the secret is its incredible flexibility. Let's start by just looking at all the different jobs it can do simply as a noun, a word for a thing. So on one hand, we've got the really literal, physical meaning, the wing of a bird or the wing of an airplane. Simple enough. But the word stretches way farther than that. We also talk about the west wing of a hospital or the conservative wing of a political party. See, the same exact word is now describing a distinct section or a group. And this metaphorical use is just so powerful, especially when you talk about politics. I mean, the concepts of right wing and left wing are absolutely fundamental to how we talk about political ideologies pretty much everywhere. It's this whole complex spectrum of ideas, and it's all anchored by this one simple noun. But okay, its versatility doesn't even stop there. Wing isn't just a noun, it's also a word of action. It moonlights as a verb, too. And here, again, we see that same split between the literal and the informal. A bird can literally wing its way across the sky, sure, but we also use it all the time when we have to wing it, to improvise a speech or just make up a plan as we go. It's a completely different idea, but the same exact word captures it perfectly. So when you start to put all of these pieces together, the noun, the verb, the literal meaning, the metaphorical one, you begin to see the hidden power in this one little word. You really start to see the genius behind why it was chosen for that basic English list. All right, so let's just recap. This one single four-letter word can describe a part of an animal, a section of a building, a political ideology, the physical act of flight, and the abstract idea of just making things up as you go. That is an incredible amount of heavy lifting for just one word to do. And that right there is the whole key. The creators of Basic English weren't just picking the most common words. No, they were looking for the linguistic version of a Swiss Army knife, the most efficient, most versatile words possible. It kind of makes you look at language a little differently, doesn't it? So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What other simple words do you use every single day that are doing way more work than you even realize?